Welcome to Travel Secrets with me, Tanya Rose, the podcast sharing wisdom for fellow travellers. Each week, I ask my guests to reveal their 6 travel secrets and the holidays and adventures that surround them. I would just like to say thank you to Maison Rose, the sales and communication agency that represents some of the finest hotels around the world, for partnering with Travel Secrets, the podcast. Today, my guest is one of Britain's most adored and versatile actresses, star of stage, film, TV and literature, and famed for so many iconic roles from Acorn Antiques, Dinner Ladies, Calendar Girls, Nanny McPhee, The Best Marigold Hotel, which I hope we'll hear a bit about India, and coming up in the Thursday Murder Club, and also Traitors, the Celebrity Edition. And I won't ask you if you were a traitor or a faithful, because you'd have to kill me.
Yes, I'm absolutely not going to say a word. But pinch me if you like, but I won't.
Can't wait to watch it. Welcome, lovely Celia. I can't wait to hear your travel secrets. But before we get into them, perhaps you can tell us a bit about yourself and how travel has impacted the person you've become. Did you grow up traveling? Let's just talk generally about you.
Well, my darling mother always used to say to be well-travelled or well-read is a very good beginning. And I'm not very well-read, sadly. I wish I'd done university and all that. But I think travel is the most important thing, because it's like going inside a live book, I suppose, isn't it, really? And, you know, the world's so huge. And I've got to hurry up, because I don't think we're going to be allowed to travel, so freely soon. I mean, I'm going to remain optimistic, but really, I want to get in as much as I can. So I've got China and Japan to go to next, please.
Yes, exciting. And actually, you have a house in France. So now with this whole Brexit thing, you can only do 6 months, is it? Or 3 months in and 3 months out?
Yes, it's not a house, actually. It's an apartment overlooking the Mediterranean, and it's my paradise.
How wonderful.
But I do have a titre séjour, which means that I'm not as restricted as, gosh, I wish I had an Irish passport.
I know.
Honestly.
I know so many of my friends are tracing their heritage back somehow.
Well, unfortunately, it's a grandmother generation behind, so I'm nearly there, but not enough.
So is your apartment in Nice?
It is.
So you'll be off hot footing there for the August, hopefully.
Fast as I can. Actually, no, I try to avoid August because it's too hot. So that's the only time that I probably avoid. Otherwise, I'd be there all the time.
I am going on Saturday
to Nice,
to the Colombe d'Or in Saint-Paul-de-Vence. We go every year for the whole of August.
Oh, how gorgeous.
Sort of
how gorgeous.
Mid-August.
Wow.
I love it there. Such a beautiful hotel.
No, brilliant.
So let's get into your travel secrets. What is the number one destination you think everyone should go to once in their lifetime?
The Grand Canyon. There's no question about it. It's the most breathtaking place in the world. And actually, if you're in a rocket, only the Grand Canyon and the Great Wall of China are obvious.
So you can actually
They're the 2 points on Earth that you can see from a rocket, apparently. Anyway, you almost can't describe it, except I felt it was like an enormous monster, because you can almost hear it breathe. It's a sort of bizarre thing to say, but I promise you, it's the silence that is so extraordinary. But you can almost feel it taking an in-breath and an out-breath. It's magnificent. Have you ever been?
I've never been.
Well,
I really want to. And Helen Fielding was on the podcast, and she goes every year to the Grand Canyon.
Does she? How marvellous that Helen goes.
Yes, and she said it's just magnificent.
It is.
Did you do whitewater rafting when you were there in the Grand Canyon?
No, thanks. No, I'm not that good a swimmer. I mean, I love the idea of it, and it looks fantastic, but
for somebody else.
Just don't stand too near the edge. I mean, there are lots of accidents that happen there, and there's a whole book about them. So it's all extraordinary. It's an extraordinary place. People are ridiculous because they go hiking off without the right clothes, can't get back, you know.
Crazy.
Anyway, it definitely is where anybody should go once in their life.
And what did you do when you went there? Were you filming nearby and so you had a holiday? You just went on holiday?
I went on a marvellous tour led by Molly, who knew everything about the place. And then she brought us a picnic lunch as well. I mean, it's very it's impossible to describe, really. That's why you have to go.
Yeah. And Vegas, did you do Vegas at the same time?
No thanks. No thanks.
Not for you either.
No.
Do you know, Vegas for me is all about the shows, that's it. Because otherwise it's very depressing with everyone gambling and not seeing the light of day. But the shows are amazing. And O, which is the underwater one of Cirque du Soleil, is worth seeing. But that is it, I think.
Well,
just let's go to the Grand Canyon. What's your most unexpected travel experience?
I suppose it was when I was first invited on to Queen Mary 2. I was in New York doing a one-woman play, which was very daring and very exciting, and I'm glad I did it, called Unsuspecting Susan, in New York. And then I was invited onto Queen Mary 2 to go home. And would I like to introduce Calendar Girl? So you can imagine it's that long ago, 20 years ago or something. And I'd never been on a huge liner. And it was absolutely extraordinary. I've never forgotten, even just walking up the gangplank. And then the hugeness of it, being surrounded by water, the luxury everywhere. And then people say, I've never done cruising. It's not a cruise ship. It's a liner. And it goes from one
place,
port, New York, straight to Southampton. And she's magnificent. I think she's a bit like I would like to say racehorse in one day of weather, because she just glides. And then on a stormy day, she's like a cart horse and puts her nose right down. And it's quite magnificent. The color of the waves, the white and azure. And the hugeness of the ship. I mean, you can go round, I can't remember the mileage round the deck, but it's quite a lot. And it's, there you are. You take an hour off each day, so you don't have jet lag. And then you arrive rested, refreshed, with the sea air. It is a magnificent way to travel. Is it
5 days?
It's 6 or 7.
6 or 7 days.
Yes.
I've never done it. I actually would love to do it the other way, because I'd like to see the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, no, well, I have.
And, like all of the immigrants that came, I just think that would be magnificent.
Exactly. It is. And I think, yes, generally speaking, you arrive at dawn, which is rather thrilling. Oh, wow. And you go under the Narosvaro Bridge. Anyway, that's thrilling, because you think you're never going to get under, because the funnel is like inches away from the underneath of the bridge. But yes, it's all magnificent, actually. There's not one bit that I don't like about it.
And have you done it subsequently?
Many times.
Oh, you have?
Many times.
Because you don't fly, do you?
No.
So tell me about that.
Well, having done that, I can't see the point. And I go everywhere by train. And you can. It's surprising.
Really?
Yeah. And so when I for instance, going your way, I call it your way because you must do it, from Southampton to New York, and then I go across the entire width of America on Amtrak.
So if you're filming in America, you always go by boat?
Yeah.
And train. How amazing. Mm-hmm. So you have to factor in a few extra days to do that?
You do. It's probably 10, really. 10 days.
Does that mean it actually precludes you from doing things further afield now? Like Australia or somewhere?
The thing is, it would take too long, probably.
But you have done stuff in Australia before when you did fly?
Yes, I did.
How magnificent. Well, I'm definitely going to take you up on that and do that American trip.
You will.
I just think I might think a bit about the Titanic, though. Do you not get scared?
Well, we go over the Titanic. And all sailors are superstitious, so you have to be quite, well, yes, and very often the captain will tell you when we're going near. Yes.
Really?
Yes, of course, I'm obsessed with the Titanic. Who isn't? And I've written about it. But you feel so safe on the Queen Mary too. It is an extraordinarily glamorous, beautiful, but it has special stabilizers. It's of its own, the best.
Okay, Queen Mary, it's going to be for me. Have you done any other talks on those boats about your books and things?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because each time I don't expect, I expect to work my passage like a proper sailor.
And you've written 7 books, haven't you?
Have I? I don't know.
I think you have. And actually your autobiography about, was it called Hoofer?
The Happy Hoofer.
Happy Hoofer.
As opposed to the Happy Hooker.
Well, the Happy Hoofer, because you wanted to be a dancer, didn't you?
Yes, well, I'm a chorus girl, really. That's how I began. Much to Prince William's delight when I told him how I started.
I wanted to be a dancer, and I
you?
had a place at White Lodge at the Royal Ballet School. And my
you?
father said to me, "You're going to end up a go-go dancer at Loews Casino in Monaco. You're not going to." And when I tell my husband that, he says, "Well, that wouldn't have been a bad thing at all."
No. Oh, what a shame. No. Well, my father was a bit the same. And so I agreed in the end to do a dancing teacher's course. But, well, you have the figure for a ballet dancer.
No, I was told not. I was
tall?
told I was going to be too tall and I was the wrong shape.
Well, so was I.
It was very depressing.
I know.
But I did have a place, so...
well done.
You know.
I didn't. Good for you. What the
Anyway,
heck?
thank goodness that you didn't, because otherwise we wouldn't have seen you in these amazing things. But do you still dance?
Around the kitchen, so nobody can see me fall over.
Fantastic. Let's get into your most overrated or underrated travel experience.
Oh, Lord, the
It's
Ice
hard,
Hotel.
isn't it?
No, it's not. The Ice Hotel was a bloody nightmare. But I won't name the exact one. But no, I was very excited about the idea of sleeping on a block of ice. What a mad idea is that? I mean, honestly, when I got to lie on it, I just thought, what on earth am I doing? And you're covered with sort of animal skin, which, being a vegetarian, I'm not mad about. The thing is, also, there's lots of things to consider. When I went there, it had started to thaw and then iced over.
Oh.
So there were lots of things you couldn't do, like you couldn't go on the horse with the horses, obviously, because it's far too icy for them and they'd hurt
Slippery.
themselves. They did take the huskies out, which I think they shouldn't have done. But there were various things that it was just mad, you couldn't. But it was very, very funny because, you go into this sort of igloo and it's got sort of purple lighting and everything. And you think, okay, so I'm now going to go to sleep on a block of ice. Very good. And then, you don't sleep. Halfway through the night, you think, do you know, I've had enough of this. So you get up and you think, I'll tell you what, I'm going to get dressed. I'm going to go to the lockers. I'm going to get dressed and I'm going to be first in line for breakfast. So you get up at 3:30 in the morning. The whole place is in the lockers. They've all had the same idea. They're all fed up with their blocks of ice and they're all lining up for hot breakfast.
That is hilarious.
Honestly.
That is so funny.
Oh,
Is it freezing?
yes. But why would you think it wouldn't be?
Just one night and not even a whole half night.
Oh, God. I think the next night, actually, was a bit less a trouble because you could go into a little hut. And actually, the best bit was looking up through a glass roof and seeing the stars. That was rather wonderful. But never again.
Cute. And that was in Iceland, was it?
Norway, I think.
Norway.
North Norway. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
I was excited about it and then
Once in a
disappointed.
lifetime,
Yes.
done and dusted, never
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, exactly.
Take heed, listeners.
Some people might love it, though, you
Yeah.
see. That's the thing. But,
Each to their own.
yeah.
Each to their own. Let's get into food and drink. It's so much part of travel and our lives. What do you like eating? Where do you like eating? Have you got a favourite restaurant or a best meal you've ever had? Let's just talk generally about food and drink and travel.
I think it's hard to choose, but the best meal I've ever had was at the Chantecler, a restaurant in the Negresco Hotel in Nice. And they have a very talented lady chef, Virginie Basselot, her name is. She's won multitude of stars. And the great thing about her is she sources local delicacies. And actually, that's the great thing about France. You know, you go to their markets, the smell of their strawberries. I've never smelt anything like that, coming around the corner and seeing them on the market stall. And all the vegetables are so fresh and gorgeous. And they make a point, I think, of only serving what is in season. So, you know, don't expect strawberries in December.
No.
Just have what is.
Yeah.
And that's what's clever about her dishes. And the reason it was so marvellous, and actually I don't remember the other courses, it was the starter, which was, it was like a doll's plate of all the different local delicacies. So you had one tiny little baguette the size of my finger, and then one tiny little pissaladier, which is an onion tart, a tiny little bit of soccer, and all the delicacies of Nice on a little plate. It was the prettiest thing I've ever seen. But it was like a doll's plate.
Yeah, but how beautiful.
Yes, and all the different flavours.
So do you go there every time you go to Nice, or is that a treat place?
No, it's a total treat. Total treat.
I tell you which restaurant I love in Nice is La Petite Maison.
Yes.
With the mad lady who owns it, Nicole.
If she's in a good mood, it's lovely. And the rest.
Do you know, it's hilarious you say that, because maybe it is her mood. I thought it was just that she was a bit bonkers. She came up to my husband when we went there the first time and gave him a glass of champagne and dropped it.
Oh.
Before he, you know, but purposefully did it. And they were behind her with a dustpan and brush because they knew she was going to do it. So
dear.
I thought, has he done something wrong, or is she anyway? But the food is very good there.
Well, yes. If she's in a good mood, she'll give you an extra plate of. I don't know how they say it in French, but anyway, it's mashed potato, but it is exquisite or exquisite or whatever you call. Really, I mean, the best you've ever tasted. Yes, it is. It is beautiful. I love the lemons and tomatoes on the plate. On the table,
yes,
before you even get there.
Lovely.
I mean, as you get there.
It's beautiful. And the markets in Nice are fantastic. Do you go shopping to the markets when you're there? Lovely.
On my bike, if I can.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Do you ride a bike there?
Of course.
Wow. Trains, boats and bikes. You're very intrepid.
Well, you know, it's you see the world better. I mean, the sights I've seen going across America, I bet Americans haven't seen.
No, I bet
some good, some not so good.
And is that because you're going by train, so you're looking out the window and seeing everything?
I mean, from an airplane, you can't see half of what I see.
That's true. And you're a vegetarian?
Yes.
So is that easier when you're in France, just because of all the fresh ingredients and things?
Yes, although it didn't used to be, though, because I can remember being in Paris years and years ago and asking the waitress if I could have just some vegetables. And this very sophisticated, very elegant lady behind me, bright red lipstick, said, bizarre. Oh, bizarre. You know, she couldn't get it at all. So things have changed.
Let's go on to your top travel tip. What's your top travel tip?
Don't fly is my top travel tip. Because I've seen so much. For instance, one of my trips, I don't know whether this will be answering the next question, but I went from Bulgaria to Paris on the train. And people would think, well, you can't. You know, you can't. You'd have to fly somewhere. No, you don't.
How long did that take?
Well, I knew I had an overnight, but I started off in Sofia. And so I set off knowing I'd got a 10-hour train journey in front of me, which is fine, no problem. So right the length of Bulgaria, right up to the north. It was going on rather a long time, and I kept looking at my watch because I knew I'd got to catch another train, a sort of night train, to take me to the next bit. Anyway, the outcome was we were 2 hours late, and I got more and more frantic and more, desperate to ask the guard. Well, of course, I couldn't speak Bulgarian. And I rather lost my temper, I'm afraid, and started shouting at him. It wasn't his fault.
No.
But I said, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And there were some students that I'd been traveling with, and they said, well, you can come to our hostel and sleep with us. I thought, maybe not.
How sweet, though.
Maybe not, I know, but maybe not, because I've got more things to do. I was on a sort of time. Anyway, I was behaved very, very badly to this poor man. And in the end, I said, can I get a bus? Can I get a coach? Or can I, because I've got to catch all my connections back home. And so I calmed down a bit. And he said, we sort of spoke in sign language, come with me. He took me to the bus station, the coach station. And I found out that there was a night coach going to Zagreb. I thought, well, that's sort of very good because I've missed my other connection. So I managed to get myself a ticket. I told the gentleman, thank you very, very much for helping me to find the coach station, because it was the only way I was going to do it. So I climbed last passenger with all my suitcases onto this late night coach, with all my suitcases on top of me. And as I looked out of the window, and this totally broke my heart, there was the dear guard waving me off. He'd stayed to see how I was safe. Honestly,
how
I'll
sweet.
never
Hadn't you
forget
been
that.
shouting?
I know, don't, and I've been so horrible. And there he was, waving me off. Anyway, so overnight to Zagreb, we had to get off about 12 times at the borders. Got to Zagreb. The funny thing is I beat the train.
Did you?
So I was there, and then I went on to Zurich, stayed the night there, and then Germany, and I can't quite exactly remember the order, but anyway, Paris and home.
That's very amazing.
Yeah. I was very proud of myself.
Did it not put you off?
No. Why?
Having to get off and go to the... Well, I think you're very intrepid, as I said earlier. Fantastic. Will you ever fly again, do you think?
No, probably not.
Really?
No need.
No need. Let's talk about your most poignant travel experience.
Well, I suppose it would be looking back, really, because, as you can imagine, as we said at the very beginning, one of my most wonderful adventures in my life is going to India. First of all, I went in about might have been something like 1985, and I was on a British Council tour of Merchant of Venice. Oh. And we went all over the place to India and Pakistan and Nepal, but to places some children had never ever seen theatre before. So that was wonderful. And then, of course, came the most unforgettable treat of going to India with the Exotic Marigold Hotel. I mean, it is luck. It is luck to be given a present like that. And I do mean it's a present, because with that cast in India, and then 2 helpings.
Yes.
And then the second one.
The second too.
Which I so love Ol Parker's choice of title, which he got in trouble for, because the Americans said, you can't call it second best hotel. Well, actually, that's what's so witty about it.
Of course, it was so clever.
The second best Exotic Marigold Hotel. Anyway, so that, but it is, looking back, poignant for me, because darling Dame Maggie wouldn't be there if we went again. I think probably, 2 is glorious. Don't be greedy. But
the cast really was wonderful, and there probably are so many of your friends with Judi Dench.
Well, actually, the sad thing is there's Tom Wilkinson and Ronnie Pickup, who would not be there. So there's 3. Which would be sad. Yeah. But in terms of I don't know whether I'm jumping ahead of your questions, but in terms of life-changing, going to India, yes, it was. Because, well, with the Exotic Marigold, we were treated to like 9-star hotels because of the dames, I'm guessing. You know, 1,299 cushions on your bed and curtains and people coming in and out, looking after you. Swimming pools, you know, those marvellous, what do they call
The
them?
infinity pools.
Yes, exactly. Well, we had a moat around our rooms, and I have a vision of Dame Judy swimming round to Dame Maggie's room with banana on her head, because that's what they love to do. I mean, honestly.
What fun.
It was, well, you know, an unforgettable treat, which I will never forget. But the reason also it is life-changing is because you leave the grounds of your 9-star hotel and there's a little girl looking for a cabbage leaf, but she's smiling. I mean, it's very difficult to know how you can describe this without sounding in any way patronizing. I'm not. I'm very aware that we have so much and they have so little. It's obvious, but they're always optimistic and joyful and smiling. It's heart-stopping, actually. Now, is that because they believe in reincarnation? Maybe. This time it's not so good, next time it'll be better. But they have nothing, and yet they are joyful, they want to share their food with you. You know, it does change your life, I think.
I found that when I went to India. I couldn't quite understand it at first, but as you say, they are joyful.
Yes.
And then when I went to South Africa, I found that actually almost not more difficult, but you have the really expensive housing and then you have the townships.
Well, I know.
And that wasn't quite as easy. You know, there was a lot more violence. There was a lot more aggression. You did something with Richard E. Grant in Swaziland, didn't you?
I did. And funnily enough, I remember Johannesburg airport and being biffed out of the way by somebody. I mean, really slammed into by a man. I found it very aggressive. But Swaziland, of course, is like a sort of oasis.
Is it?
It's very, very pretty.
What did you do there?
With him? Richard's film.
Oh, it was
his own film, Wawa, which is all about his life.
Yes.
However, I'm afraid another memory was being in the gift shop of our lovely hotel, and beautiful, beautiful young girl who was about 17, and she wanted to know what we were doing, and I was explaining we were making a film, and she said, "Oh, when will it be out?" Because she spoke very good English. And I said, "Well, it'll probably take a year before it comes out." She said, "Oh, what a shame." And I said, "Oh, why?" She said, "Well, I probably won't be here." She had AIDS.
Oh, no.
And she knew. I mean, ghastly. Those sort of things, you can't remember a place without that memory,
No.
I'm afraid.
What did you play in his film?
I played Lady Hardwick. Well, anyway, she was a terrible snob. And used to say, and funnily enough, I can remember my mother saying it, "Oh, the American. Oh, what about the American?" That's how she spoke. Very, very posh. I used to put in bits that my mother used to say, and Richard loved it. So
I bet he did.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
But no, she was a terrible snob, but fun to play, of course.
And when you did the Best Exotic Marigold Hotel,
yes.
Where did you actually stay? You said you were staying in amazing hotels. Were they in the sort of palace hotels?
We filmed in Jaipur and Udaipur. Udaipur first. It was gorgeous, but sort of too much, really.
But poignant.
Well, yes, because Dame Penelope and I used to take a tuk-tuk out at night sometimes and go and see what was happening. We weren't really allowed to, but we did, of course.
And you had lovely Bill Nighy as well.
Yep.
Who's great fun, I'm sure. Wow,
the whole
wonderful.
cast. Yeah.
Just a wonderful, wonderful cast. I asked you to bring a photograph. Can you show us the photograph and tell us how that sums up travel to you?
Well, the photograph is of me on an Amtrak, or beside the Amtrak train, and you'll see how huge they are. And people are so surprised that I decide to take the train across America. But actually, it's an extraordinary experience, and I suppose because not many people do it. I love, I love to talk about it and say, but it's marvelous. I think I changed trains in Chicago, and I think it's about, I can't remember whether it's 2 or 3 nights it takes. 3 nights, I think. But, I see parts of America that I'm quite sure Americans have never seen. And that includes, people living in burnt-out cars, by the way.
Oh, really?
Really quite shocking. And then the other thing, being a vegetarian, I promise you, miles and miles of these poor cattle slammed together in pens where they can't move. But I really do mean miles. It's a disgrace. And I think I've only ever seen it once. And I wonder whether they, in a correct timetable, the train would go past in the night so you wouldn't see it. But on this occasion, we were about 4 hours late, which does happen. And so we saw it.
So you see it. And if you weren't a vegetarian before, you certainly would be afterwards.
Awful. I mean, just awful.
What do you do baggage-wise? Do you take lots of suitcases with you? Is there someone to help you?
Well, yes. I mean, that's the good thing, because, of course, you're not really restricted. It's a good idea to get a little bedroom, by the way, if you really want to do it. I mean, I've done coach as well, which really wasn't too bad. But if you can get yourself a little bedroom, they have luggage racks downstairs, so you don't have to hike them up. But also, of course, on the ship, you're not so restricted as you would be flying. But you always take too much, don't you?
I always do.
Always take
Lots
too
of
much.
people on this podcast say, I only travel with hand luggage, but I don't know how.
Well, I'd love to be like Helen Mirren, you see.
Oh, what
Dame
does she
Helen. Because she told me when we did Calendar Girls that she hardly takes anything, buys when she's there, sometimes from charity shops, I believe she said, and then can give them back if she wants.
Oh, what a good idea.
I know.
That's a top tip.
Well, it's a very good one, but I absolutely loathe shopping. So I suppose if you sort of can restrict it to one place.
I love shopping.
Do you? Oh, no. I can't
So that's
stand it.
probably why I would love to do that, actually. So you've got the Thursday Murder Club coming out with Dame Helen.
Yes.
And Piers.
Yes. And Sir Ben.
And Sir Ben Kingsley. So,
Yep.
I mean, you're the 4 main people.
And David Tennant. And
Yes, and Richard E. Grant,
Yeah,
and Tom Ellis,
exactly.
and we cannot wait. And actually, I was going to ask you before I let you go, what is next for you? Where are you going next, and what is next for you as an actor or in life?
Well, now that's very interesting. I'm really here. My next is to be enjoying the premiere of Thursday Murder Club, actually. I've just been working with Rafe Spall on his series, Trying, playing a hoarder, which anybody who's ever been to my house would think, oh, well, that's no acting required then. But that was good fun to do. And I love not knowing what's next, actually. But I will be dedicating most of my days in the absolute near future to promoting the
And then
film.
when does The Traitors come out?
September, I think.
And where was that filmed?
In Inverness. I think people
in
know
Scotland.
that. So yes.
Fantastic. So
And,
back to your roots.
Exactly. I'm very proud of my half Scots blood. And I also went filming in Inverary Castle for The Diplomat.
Oh, yes.
So, and it was quite. I played. I don't know whether you watched it.
I did. I loved it.
I played quite a fierce
person.
Who was not liked by the rest of the story. And it was a peculiar sort of thing because I didn't really get to know anybody. We were mostly filming in London. And because I was playing this peculiar person, we didn't really get to know each other until we got to Inverary Castle. And then we were going for swims in the loch in the morning and having whiskey at night. And it changed completely. And we all became good friends.
How lovely. Well, it's a beautiful castle, isn't it?
But that's what travel does for you. And any tours or, you know, anywhere where you go as a company, it's the most marvelously, you know, gathering together. It's a completely different thing. And, you know, being on tour with people, it's marvelous. You know, it's a wonderful bringing together, which you couldn't possibly have if you were filming in London.
No, and bonding. It probably takes you back to when you started with your acting in plays and things like that. Didn't you do a tour when you first went somewhere with Glinda Jackson?
I did, and that was, well, now, you see, if you said to somebody that, well, I never went, I'd never been abroad and I was 22, they'd be amazed because children and people are on planes going to holidays and all sorts, you know, from the age of 2 now. But I was 22, I'd never been abroad before, and I found myself on a plane to Australia. So it was all very dramatic.
How
and
wonderful.
Yeah.
And with a troupe of players.
Yes. Well, double Oscar winner Glenda.
Absolutely.
I was the understudy and the tea girl and looking after the props. But the most wonderful in travel time of our lives, 40 years later, I got to play her daughter when she was King Lear.
You did? You were Goneril, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
I loved it.
And she was
fantastic.
Well, but she was 80.
I know, she was incredible though.
And having been away, because Mira and I were talking this morning, Mira didn't know her as an actress, but knew her as a politician.
Yes, absolutely.
Because she'd been away from the stage for 25 years. I couldn't believe, well, I suppose I could because she was so wonderful anyway, but aged 80 to play King Lear the way she did, wasn't it?
It was
breathtaking.
Really was breathtaking. Well, how lovely that went full circle and you had your first thing and then her last thing.
Nearly.
And you're no longer a tea girl and an understudy. You're very much the main part.
Still making tea though.
Oh.
And cakes.
How wonderful. It has been such a joy and delight to go around the world with you. I think you are amazing the way you go by train and cruise, but it's not cruise.
No,
it's liner. I'm definitely going to take you up on that.
Oh, do.
And it's been so wonderful to meet you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you very much.